Thank you very much. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Good people, our reverends who are here, our pastors, and all those who have come here to engage with us. Good evening. God is good. And all the time. Nisalimieni kwa hewa. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Hi bros. Hi sis. Hi cousins. Cousins hi. Shemeji hi. Diaspora hoye. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. And my wife and I are delighted to have this engagement with our people here in this state. And since we arrived almost 2.5 weeks ago, we have been received with a lot of love and compassion. We feel taken care of, and we are very happy by the love the people of Kenya have shown us, and we feel at home far away from home. In fact, were it not that there's a lot of work for me back home, I will not mind staying here for quite a while. I'm well relaxed, I'm well taken care of, I'm feeling pampered, I'm being treated like a small baby. That has not happened to me for a long time. So I'm very happy, and I'm looking forward to further engagements. As I came to the US to look for our people from Kenya, to engage them because all is not well at home. That opinion that what is happening at home needs your attention because we must work on it together. More than even I, you know what's going on back at home because you are in touch with the people at home. And the challenges that our people face back at home are your challenges because you take care of many families. When the cost of living becomes unbearable in Kenya, you feel it yourself here. The shopping you used to do for your mother 3 years ago for 20,000 shillings, today you do it with 50,000. True or false? So you guys know all is not well. You know what is happening. And I came to look for you for an engagement to see how do we fix our country, because at the end of it all, even as you work here, as you live here, east or west, home is best. Kenya is your home. And when Kenya is paining, you pain too. When Kenya is hurting, you hurt too. When Kenya is happy, you are also happy. So you are very serious stakeholders back home, and that is why I came to engage you. On 3 fronts. 1, how do we fix Kenya together? 2, what is the place of the diaspora brigade in our national development? And how do we make you more involved in steering your own country? Number 3, how do we engage continuously so that your views count? Nobody knows it all. And the administration that we intend to ask the people of Kenya to give us an opportunity is an administration that will have continuous engagement with the people of Kenya as our modus operandi. Our party, the DCP, Democracy for the Citizens Party, our slogan is Sikiza wa Kenya. Mimi ninajulikana kwa kusikiza ground nyumbani, na nimekuja hapa Amerikani kusikiza ground. Ground ya hapa inasemaje? Ati mnasemaje? Hapa Amerikani ni one term? Are you sure? Wacha nione kwa mkono watu ya one term. Wow. Thank you very much. Why one term? Why? Why one term? I was on the ticket that brought in William Ruto as president. I was his running mate, and we ran on a joint ticket. And we made many promises to the people of Kenya. And I trusted William Ruto. I went to the elections with him without a written agreement, without a political party, without any negotiation, because I'm a very trusting person. Because when you are honest, you think other people are honest like you. When you are somebody of integrity, you are forgiven for believing other people have the same integrity. We promised many things, and along the way, the people of Kenya, including the ones here in the States, are very disappointed. And along the way, I found that I, just like the rest of Kenyans, had been deceived. All of us were conned. I heard William Ruto the other day say that the people who are opposing him are like wash conmen. He should go to the mirror and look at himself. All of us were conned, and most of us feel terrible about it. But we give ourselves encouragement that if bishops were conned, reverends, pastors, evangelists, prophets, people who live in America with the whites, yourselves, you are all conned. Who is regarding Gachagua, a villager from Wamonyoro? And you know why most of us fell into this trap? It's because we are Christians. And we believe in God. And if anybody comes with a Bible and confess that he is saved, we dare to believe that person. So this guy came with a Bible. He was quoting the Bible without reading. From the book of Genesis to Revelation. He would sing all Christian songs in all local languages. And we were all persuaded that for the first time, we have a candidate of the church, a good man, straightforward, honest. We all believed him, and we gave him our vote. And most of us went out of our way to campaign for him very aggressively, and he became president. 1 year into the leadership, I realized I had been conned, and Kenyans had been conned. And I started asking questions. And it became difficult for me to stay with him because I am truthful and he is a liar. And truth and lies do not coexist. It's like water and oil. And it became very difficult for us to stay together. Mostly because of lying to the people of Kenya on all the promises we had given the people of Kenya. He told us the bottom-up economic transformation model is for putting money into people's pocket. Within 6 months, instead of putting money in the pockets of the Kenyan people, he came and removed the little they had in the pocket through excessive and unreasonable taxation. And I told him this is not right, it's not fair, it's not what we promised the people. And he said, those were just promises. That was just campaigning, my friend. I said, but we told the people, we promised them. Along the way, it became very difficult because we did the exact opposite of what we had promised the people. We had told the people of Kenya we shall never carry out evictions and demolitions without giving people adequate notice and giving them alternative accommodation. And that started in earnest. When I raised it, I was told off. Corruption, stealing of public funds. The e-citizen platform is a conduit for theft of public funds. The Auditor General has issued a report to say those funds cannot be traced. More than 45 billion Kenya shillings that have been collected through the e-citizen. That money cannot be found anywhere. The affordable housing program is a con. Governments all over the world don't put up houses for people. Governments provide services, roads, water, electricity, drainage, sewage. And then the private sector will do the houses. Mwai Kibaki, the celebrated third president of the Republic of Kenya, never did any housing program as a government program. But he did put up the Thika superhighway. He opened up all the bypasses, and the houses came up on their own without his intervention, without any government intervention. That's the way you do housing. You don't have to do houses. You just put up the infrastructure, and the Kenyan people will do the houses. So things became very difficult. The opposition was captured. Raila was bought and pocketed, and he started singing. He became a member of the praise and worship team. But he became the soloist. Parliament was captured. All institutions of oversight were captured. And there was nobody to talk for the people of Kenya. As it happens, nature abhors vacuum. So, since there was nobody to talk for the people of Kenya, some little boys and girls not known by anybody before, called the Gen Zs, came up to fill up that space and started demanding transparency and accountability for the people of Kenya. They started challenging taxation. And that is where now I differed completely with William Ruto. He went for these children with the brutal efficiency. Young children were abducted and held incommunicado and tortured into silence. Then the killing began. And that's when I told him it is not acceptable and I cannot be party to it. Because one, I'm a parent, I have young boys of the same age. Two, I'm a Christian. Number three, I'm a human being. And I said no. So 2024, June 24th, a decision was made to kill our children. And I disagreed with it as deputy president. And I was left out of the decision-making process. On 25th of June 2024, young children were butchered in the streets of Nairobi. I flew to Mombasa, I called a press conference as deputy president, and I told William Ruto off. And I told him it's unacceptable to kill children. And I'm not part of it. And I condemned it as deputy president. And of course, he began the process of removing me from office because of calling him out publicly. I had a choice to play along, let him kill children, be part of it, allow him to steal everything from Kenya, and stay in office and be a happy guy, fly all over the world, have security, have money and all that. But I chose to sacrifice my job for the sake of our children, for the sake of our country. And that's when he mobilized Parliament, spent over 5 billion shillings to bribe members of Parliament and the Senate to get me out of office. Along the way, he offered me 2 billion shillings to resign peacefully. I refused. I said I'll stand for the truth and for the people of Kenya, And since I left office, that is what I have done. And I have, with other leaders, kept the government in check and stopped most of the excesses. Had I mellowed and chickened out the way I was being advised by people to lie low and come and hide here in America, the wanton killing of our children, the raping of the Kenyan economy would have been to unprecedented levels. I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but in my own small way, alongside other Kenyans, I have made some contribution to check William Ruto and government and slow them down. And that is why my little daughter, Gen Z, William Ruto is an expert in creating narratives. He is very good. And many people fall for it. I have fallen for it before. He created a narrative against Uhuru Kenyatta that he's a drunkard, and he convinced us Uhuru Kenyatta is a drunkard and is useless. And we all disobeyed Uhuru Kenyatta, embarrassed him, shamed him, because William Ruto convinced us that Uhuru Kenyatta is a drunkard, is a useless man. And he deceived all of us. We hated our own president, our own son, and refused to listen to him. He is very good at creating narrative. That narrative that regarding Gachagua is tribal is a narrative created by William Ruto, because there is nothing else he can say about me. I have not been involved in corruption. Had I been involved in corruption, he would have been taken me to court by now. Had I done a single deal with the government, today I would be in prison. He has nothing against me, because anything I have said has come to pass, and people know I'm a man of integrity. So all he says is that regarding Gachagua is tribal. But nobody listens in Kenya. The reason being, regarding Gachagua is not tribal, because when William Ruto stood as president, he was not Kikuyu, he was Kalenjin. There was a candidate called Mwaura Wahiga. If I was tribal, I would have supported Mwaura, not William Ruto. When things were working for him, he had such kind words about me when I was supporting him. This guy is a people's person. He cares for the ordinary people. He's a great mobilizer. He loves his country. You play the clip, what he said on May 15 when he unveiled me as running mate. It was the best poem I've ever had in my life. He had such lovely and kind words about me. But now that I disagreed with him to tell him you cannot kill children, you cannot steal the country's wealth, then he says regarding Gachagua is a tribalist. My daughter, please, don't fall into that narrative. When you are here, you talk about Kenyans, you don't talk about America. Every group of people have some identity. Never allow anybody to make you feel embarrassed about who you are and where you come from. That narrative by William Ruto is meant to intimidate the Kikuyu nation and to make us feel sorry about who we are and challenge our capacity to work hard. And that is why when I get an opportunity, I must remind the country that the Mount Kenya people have not been given any advantage by anybody. They are wealthy, they are enterprising because they work hard. They are industrious, and they must be allowed to be. If I keep quiet, the people will be intimidated to feel sorry about themselves and who they are. Nobody has given the people of Mount Kenya any advantage. If you want a loan, you must place security. If you want a business, you must pay licenses. The people are simply hardworking. By me saying they are hardworking, I never said anybody else is lazy. No. I don't believe in negative ethnicity, but I believe in affirming my people and who they are, and I defend them from intimidation. My daughter, if you follow what happened 2 weeks before I came to America, you realize why I have to defend the Mount Kenya people. Businesses for the Mount Kenya people were targeted for destruction. In other areas, they were not destroyed because they wanted to intimidate the people of that region into silence. If you look at the people who were arrested and taken to court, 92% are from that region and charged with terrorism. If you do remember, there was a meeting in Mount Elgon where William Ruto was seated, and the MP for Ebuya West, Honorable Wanyama, said that all communities will gang up to isolate the mountain people. And William Ruto was there laughing and clapping. Somebody must defend the mountain. If all of us get intimidated and allow the people to be intimidated and to be made to feel sorry as to who they are, what happens? And I say, I don't have to be president. I don't have to be anybody in Kenya. And if I'll be nobody, because I stand with people, let it be. I supported William Ruto knowing he's not a Kikuyu. I and the people of Mount Kenya are nationalists. We are good people. Against the advice of Uhuru Kenyatta, our own son, who was president, he told us, this man is a thief, and if you elect him, you shall suffer. And we said, no, we promised him. We have an arrangement, we are honest people, we are men of integrity. Let us give him a chance, because we are not tribal. Had we been tribal, we would have listened to Uhuru Kenyatta, our own son. So let nobody tell us that the Mount Kenya people are tribal. Please give us a break. We are not. We are good people. And that is why you find today all other communities are happy to work with us. Because we are good people, we are honest people, and we are nationalistic. And we are part of Kenya. But that does not change our identity and the language that we speak together. Just the way we respect other communities and their right to speak their own language, we too must be respected and be allowed to speak our own language. All that noise you heard in Kenya when I arrived in Seattle was because of the Gemi Festival. People who don't like us were unhappy that the people are so many looking happy and singing their songs. That's all. They would like us to be divided so that they can rule us forever. And I am aware and I'm very conscious that our unity is our strength. And our relevance in the national political discourse is informed by being united and casting our vote in one ballot box. So I want to assure you, my daughter, we are good people and we are national. And I work with everybody. And I have traveled. I was in Ukambani. I was received like a king. I was in Mombasa, Kilifi, Malindi. I had a good engagement with the people. I was in Narok. I was in Kajiado. I work well with the Ma. I was in Bungoma. I was in Kakamega. I was in Vihiga. I was appreciated by those people. The people of Kisii are waiting for me because they know I'm a Kenyan leader. I am a nationalist. But Much as I'm a Kenyan, I'm a nationalist. I come from somewhere. And I retain my right to talk for those people if I find somebody who wants to throw them under the bus. And that is something that we must do all the time. Why do we say one term? And that's why I need your help, because you are part of Kenya. I heard William Ruto saying that we are saying he should go, he should be one term, and he is wondering why he should go. William Ruto, aka Kasongo. Kenyans have a problem because you have raided the payslip and made the middle class impoverished and destroyed their capacity to transact. Effectively, they can't create jobs because any country is driven by the middle class only when they have purchasing power. This payslip you have raided, a group of people need to get you out so that we can restore the dignity of the payslip and the payslip holder. And once we do that, our economy will thrive. Education is the greatest equalizer. All of you who are here have been through school. And for you to get a job here, you must have some papers. There is nobody who understands and who appreciates the value of education more than the group seated in this room and your colleagues in the United States and the rest of the world. Most of you, when I look at your age, are great beneficiaries of free primary education by Mwai Kibaki. William Ruto has interfered with education and withdrawn funds for free primary and secondary education, which means that children from less fortunate members of the society will have no access to education. For us, when you look at our universities, most of you who went to Kenyan universities are beneficiaries of HELB, Higher Education Loans Board, that was working. William Ruto has destroyed it and brought some mongrel of some financing model that is not working, and most students are at home. For us to restore the education system and make sure that the future of our children is secured, William Ruto must go. You people who work here in the States, most of you are in the health sector. You do appreciate how important a health system is when it's working. We had a system called the NHIF that was working but limping. It needed some little beating here and there to make it work. And when we were campaigning, we promised that we shall reduce the monthly contribution from 500 to 300 so that everybody can afford. Instead, William Ruto scrapped it and brought an animal called SHA. That does not work. And all of you here know it's not working because you are under pressure from home to help the people back home with money for treatment, isn't it? And buying them drugs. You know it's not working. For us to fix the health system, we must get rid of this character. The economy is crumbling. Last week, fuel prices shot by 9 shillings per litre. That means there will be a ripple effect on transport, on consumer goods. Paying bills, people have not been paid for the last 3 years. Most people are being auctioned, those who supplied goods to government, those who did services to government. If you look at the Nation newspaper, 5-6 pages every day are full of auctions. Unfortunately, those adverts for auctions are repeated every week because there is nobody with the money to buy what is being auctioned. People are unable to pay, the banks want to auction their houses, their homes, but there is also nobody to buy because nobody has money. Nobody since independence has ever played around with the military. The military is a very respected institution in Kenya, and across the world, our Kenyan soldiers are celebrated for being professional. They take care of our borders, they take care of our country. It's an institution that we don't even like talking about in terms of politicizing it. For the first time since independence, our soldiers who have been well taken care of by the state are being told to go and buy their own food. There is no money to feed them. We have always fed our soldiers. There is no country in the world that should not feed its soldiers, because those are the men and women, patriots, who defend our borders. These are things that are unprecedented, that have not happened. That soldiers are being told, instead of staying in the barracks and having their meals, to go and look for food outside. When you look at foreign relations, we have a foreign policy, non-interference with the affairs of other nations. We have interfered with what is happening in Sudan because of conflict of interest. The president is openly supporting a rebel group because he is in business with the rebels of gold. And Kenya is assisting in sending arms to Sudan. Those arms are killing women and children. In the process, Sudan has suspended the importation of our tea as a protest. President is interfering in DRC because he is interested in the business of smuggling gold. Again, Kenya is in a very difficult situation internationally. You find that State House has become a crime scene. It's a center of corruption and bribery. Money meant for education has been diverted from the National Treasury through the National Intelligence Service. It's withdrawn in cash every Friday and given to the president in cash. This is the money he's using to bribe our bishops, our reverends, our pastors, our politicians, our MCAs, and it's the money that Soprano is using to go around the country bribing women and young people for political support. That's why there is no money for education. There is no money for medicine. There is no money for anything, because all the money is being stolen and being used for politics. The abuse of the Bill of Rights, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom of the press, are dear ideals that are very well protected in the 2010 Constitution. All this has been thrown out of the window, and in Kenya now there is a lot of suppression. Telephones are being monitored, there is no privacy, and everybody feels intimidated. People are being arrested on Fridays and charged with terrorism when they have done nothing wrong other than just speaking out, as provided for in our Constitution. Abductions of young people, the killing of the Gen Zs, is totally unacceptable. And that is why this regime must be one term, because we cannot allow anybody to kill our children. And that is why I know all of you are worried, because you have children back home. You have relatives back home, and you don't know what will happen. So these are things that are very scary. And again, the use of the criminal justice system to manage politics. Harassment of leaders. The Honorable Mukonji, the MP for Manyata, the Honorable Jane Kehara, the MP for Naivasha, have been arrested and with trumped up charges simply because they are calling out Kasongo. And of course, what is very worrisome and callous is the temerity of William Ruto, that he is no longer pretending about killings. Kipchumba Murkomen, the minister in charge of Interior, publicly and shamelessly, in total disregard of the law and the Constitution, gave out an order to police to shoot, to kill. And the police did so. on June 25th and on 7th, because they had orders from the minister. People were up in arms, and instead of the president admonishing him and correcting the situation, himself, an elected president, publicly said that people should be shot in the leg, shamelessly and in a very callous manner, something that has never happened since independence. A president who is elected by the people giving orders to police to shoot people in the leg. Three days later, his tribesman, Nelson Koech, who is the chairman of the Defense and Foreign Relations Committee in Parliament that is supposed to oversight the military and the National Intelligence Service, said, no, President, you are wrong. They should not be shot in the leg. They should be shot in the head. So when you look at the statements by Kipchumba Murkomen, William Ruto, and Nelson Koech on killings of the Kenyan people, you get very worried. You get very worried. And that is why we are saying this treason cannot be allowed to go on forever. I've heard you say you don't want one term, you want half term. I'm sorry, it's not possible. There has to be one term, 24 as it is, because we have a constitution and we want to change government through an election in accordance with the constitution. William Ruto would have wanted us to attempt to change it another way so that he can jail us. That is why when people went to the streets, he was saying it's a coup. Nobody wants to overthrow William Ruto, and nobody will overthrow him. We want to change the government through an election because our constitution says we should have an election every 5 years. So we just have to put up with him. The other day he was saying we should bear with him and give him time. Well, Mr. President, it's very difficult to give you time to continue killing children. You're asking us to give you more time to kill our children, to shoot them in the leg. You're asking us to give you more time to empty our national treasury and divert those funds for politics. But we don't have a choice because Kenya is a constitutional democracy. We just have to persevere for the 2 years, hoping that we'll find something in the national treasury and hoping that you not kill all of us. In the unfortunate event you don't stop the killings, probably you can kill 5% of the population. But the 95% will still be around to send you home. So, I want to say, as I now come to the issue of the diaspora, please assist us by talking to your people back home and tell them that they must remain steadfast, they should not be intimidated, and they must be ready to make William Ruto a one-term president. Will you do that? Number two, lobby your congressmen and your senators because you elect them here so that the American government is aware of the violation of human rights back at home, the trampling of the Bill of Rights, and the impunity by William Ruto. Because America respects democracy, and it's good that the American government knows you have the capacity to lobby your congressmen and women and your senators so that they know what is going on. This movement, we are driving it at home. From here, you can also help us. Our party, DCP, requires resources, Whatever you can contribute is welcome to be put in good use so that we push the agenda for the next 2 years. Even as I'm here, the movement is going on. Today I addressed 4 meetings through phone in Embu, Runyenjes, Manyata, and Nyeri. Yesterday I addressed a meeting in Kwamaiko. Tomorrow or this morning, because of the time difference, there will be meetings in Murang'a. Another time there was a meeting in Loitoktok. We need to, our team there is doing a great job. And that shows you this movement is not about Rigiji. It's a Kenyan movement. The one-time thing is going on in my absence. The other day I had seen Duale say that this one-time thing is about Rigiji. I'm not in Kenya, I'm in the States. One time is moving on. It's beyond Rigiji. Even if today somebody persuaded me to try to stop the one-time movement, I will be swallowed by the movement. It's beyond Rigiji. This thing is real and is heavy. Yeah. I want to say that great people from the diaspora, you are a very serious partner of our national development. In the 70s, coffee was #1 foreign exchange earner for our country. In the 80s, tea was #1 foreign exchange earner for our country. In the 90s, tourism was #1 foreign exchange earner for our country. Today, as we speak, and for the last several years, the #1 foreign exchange earner for our country are remittances from the diaspora. Our foreign exchange reserve is maintained and sustained by you people. You are very serious partners for our economic development. And any serious government needs to take you seriously. For those of us who rear dairy cows, for a cow to continue giving you milk and lots of milk, you must take care of it. You must make sure it has hay, give it some dairy meal. Nowadays, we are even giving them mattresses to sleep on so that they don't feel cold at night. And some people are even playing country music to the cows. Ken Rogers and Don Williams and Cresta Gale, for them to produce milk. You guys are our dairy cow. For you to continue bringing the dollars, we need to take care of you. We need to be nice to you. And we need to listen to you to know how you want to be governed and how you want to relate with your motherland. For you to bring the dollars, you need to be sure they will not be stolen. For you to bring back your money home, it must give you some value. So I'm here to seek an engagement that when we form government in 2 years' time, how do we relate? How do we make you comfortable to invest back home? Do we give you incentives? First and foremost, we'll do away with the double taxation. You cannot pay taxes in America, and from your savings, when you bring them back home, we tax you again. That's unfair. Yeah? We need to agree with you people. Can we have a diaspora bond where when you invest your money, we give you a certain interest rate that is slightly higher than what you are getting in the country where you are working, so that we encourage you to bring back your money home? How do we make sure that your savings back home are safe? That is a conversation that I want us to get into. Again, you people must come and develop your country. This country, we are not going to develop it alone. I'm seeking a partnership with diaspora. I want you to be part of our government. We are not going to run it alone. If Professor Choti here has been in America here for 22 years, and he has some skills that can be useful in our country, why not bring him into government to come and add value? to what we're doing. What would it cost me as president to get diaspora people to take charge of our embassies across the world? Because they know, they understand those countries more than we do. They know what Kenyans want in America. They know how we can relate with the Americans to come and invest home. Why do you go to look for other people when you have people who already know how to deal with the situation professionally and in an effective manner? And I'm not just talking. Me, I'm a truthful man. This is a promise that I want to keep. Yeah? I want a very serious engagement with the diaspora. I would like you to be the people in our embassies, either as ambassador or deputy ambassador. And for consular services, why do you want to go and bring people who have never been here? How would they understand the challenges the Kenyans face here? Yet we have people here who are Kenyans and have the necessary and requisite professional qualifications that are required to do those jobs in the embassies. It's even cheaper when you have people who are living here. When you want to market Kenyan goods, we want to market our coffee. Why don't you get people right here, our young boys and girls here, to market the coffee here? Because they hang around here and they understand this place much more than we do. I'm looking for a very serious partnership and engagement with the diaspora, and I'm speaking with a lot of seriousness. This is not just talk. It is something that I intend to do. In terms of legislation, I want you people to come back home and help us. I would want in the Senate, my party, the DCP, will have several nominated senators because we are strong in various counties. And those numbers for nominated are decided depending on the elected numbers. I would like to have one nominated senator in the Senate for DCP from the diaspora. So that you come and enrich our thinking and share with us best practices seen elsewhere. Similarly, we also want somebody from the diaspora to be a nominated member of the National Assembly to assist us in legislation and oversight. I have seen the success of devolution out here. The counties are working. I've been here, I think I was in Boston, and we were in a hall like this one, and there was heavy rain, very heavy, for almost an hour. We could not even hear each other. By the time we came out, you could not even know there was rain, because the drainage system works. You cannot tell that there was rain. If that kind of rain was in Nairobi, you would require Mkokoteni fellow to take you across. In all the counties will be strong. Over 25 counties where we'll be very strong. It's my proposal to get at least a nominated, specially elected MCA from the diaspora in each of those counties to assist us. To assist us to oversight the counties and to come up with the county legislation that will enhance devolution. So that is my offer, and we'll continue to engage, and I'll be a frequent visitor. Vile mumenichunga, nitakuja sana. Na musibadilike. Maybe you have just treated me very nicely because it's the first time. Musibadilishe. You can see I'm even looking a little bit more brown. So we'll come and we'll engage in all the states. Nitaenda nyumbani, sukume Kasongo halafu nirudi. Hatutaki tumuache sana, si ndio? Msiniweke hapa sana. Hata leo watu wananiambia wewe sasa usikae sana. Wewe kaa kidogo halafu rudi. Tusukume hii mtu. Sasa hii mtu ni kichwa ngumu. Na tukimkubalia second term, atatukalia vibaya. Because the question you must ask yourself is this one, in a very honest manner. If this man is behaving the way he is, killing children, saying people should be shot in the leg, stealing money from the national treasury and using it for politics, talking arrogantly to the people of Kenya, when he still needs their vote, what if he is elected a second time and he doesn't need you? Si mwenyewe atakuja na bunduki atupige risasi mwenyewe? I don't think he will send the police. I think he will do it himself. Atakuwa anatembea na bastola, akipata wewe barabara, anakupiga mguu. So, for Kenya to be our country, for the safety of our children, for the revival of our economy, for the restoration of the education system, for the restoration of the health system, William Ruto must be one term. Tuko hapo? Mimi sitaki nipitishe hapo. That's what I needed to say. I'm willing to take questions, but I want to assure you things will be different. And finally, maybe to assure you, I've heard you say that we must stick together as a team. Let me tell you, we don't have a choice. Anybody who is bribed by Kasongo to leave our team will be hanged alive by the people of Kenya. And that will be the end of his political career. Ukitoka kwa hii team, mimi mwenyewe nikitoka, wa Munyoro nitakosa pahali ya kwenda. My neighbors will skin me alive. I'm telling you, and I know that. Same for Kalonzo, same for Matiang'i, same for Natembea, same for Mother Karua. All of us have a duty to the people of Kenya to stick together as one team. Na tumekubaliana kila mtu atafute kura zake. Mimi natafuta zangu, na mimi natafuta, mimi silali. I am not sleeping, and I have very serious boys and young girls wananitafutia. Mimi natafuta zangu. Kalonzo atafute zake, Matiang'i atafute, Wamalo atafute, Natembea atafute, kila mtu atafute. Then tuketi kwa meza, tusiweke hapo. Tuseme sasa, hii watu yote tumetoka kwa Ruto na Raila, wanataka one term, nani atawaongoza? Who among us can lead them? Then tuulizane maswali. Wewe Kalonzo, sema, how do you do it? Atueleze, tusikize. Wewe Matiang'i, utafanya namna gani? Wewe mother wa sister, namna gani? Natembea hii kazi utaweza? Wewe Eugene nini? Wewe Rigiji, mimi nijitetee niseme mkinipatia nitakibiza hii mtu kama baisikeli ya kuibiwa. Then bora tutoe one, and I want to give my commitment here at the Hilton here in the States that if the formula does not favor me, I will support whoever the formula favors. We must sacrifice for the sake of our country, and not because of our tribe, for the country called Kenya. And there is no Kenya who is not suffering. I met some guy here, I've seen him around here from West Pokot, and he told me they are even suffering more than the people in Nyeri. I have talked to people in Bomet and Kericho. They are crying. Every Kenyan is suffering. So this is a Kenyan cause. And it's not about tribes, not about communities. The only thing that happens, my young daughter, Kenyan politics, you cannot win without a coalition of regions. And what you do in politics, just like we do in homes, you cannot go to your neighbor to tell your neighbor not to stop quarreling with his wife and children. They should work together with his wife and children so that they don't make noise to you as your neighbor. When in your own house is even more noisy. You first put your house in. Yeah, you get your wife, your children, you sit them down, you agree as a family, you are united, and you are peaceful. And that house is having love and unity and living peacefully. Then if your neighbor is beating his wife, you go there and say, no, please, why don't you live like us? So what we have done is first you take care of your house. And then you go and look for friends and neighbors. And that is what I did. I united my own house, and the children are happy, and everybody is happy. And then I went to look for my cousins. Sindio, how do you go to engage your cousins when your own son is not listening to you? Uko na shida na mtoto wako na bibi yako, alafu naanza kusema cousin kuja tukae pamoja. You must first take care of your house. When your house is one and is talking the same language, then you go and look for your cousins. Hi, Makuzo. Hi, cousins. Once you have looked for your cousins, you go and look for your in-laws. Sindio? That's the way it goes. Because we are Africans, and that's the African way of doing things. Why William Ruto anapiga kelele akituita wakabila? He is bitter that the mountain that made him president has left him. There's nothing we can do. Mimba ya kujidunga, the people of that region voted him to a man. He was rejected by all other regions except Rift Valley and the mountain. Coast rejected him. Northeastern rejected him. Nyanza rejected him. Western rejected him. The mountain and Rift Valley supported him. He betrayed the mountain. He mistreated them. They have left. Instead of thinking of how he can talk to them, he is abusing them and calling them tribal. It's a case of sour grapes. Unajua kakabweha alipoona matunda iko mbali, akijaribu kurukia na hafiki, anasema hata haijai. That is the situation. And let me finally, so that I allow questions. Although Raila Odinga and his members are abusing me and abusing the mountain people for no reason, just because they are with Ruto. Raila Odinga is an old man. And you know, like I have seen here in America, you take care of your senior citizens. And we must always take care of the elderly. Bwana Prime Minister, wewe, ile kitu hiyo Kasongo ataonesha wewe, uliza mimi. The guy is pretending to be nice to you, but utakuja kuniambia. If he called me and the whole mountain, na sisi vile tumesoma, na vile tunajifikiria tumejanuka. This, when he brought Raila, nikamuliza huyu mzee, umemuleta, yasema bana, we are just managing this mzee. Tumtafutie kitu kidogo ya kukula anyamaze. Alafu tumwambie kuna hii kitu ya report ya dialogue atoe, lakini it will go nowhere. I want to tell you, Raila Odinga, William Ruto told me that NADCO report will go nowhere. He's just calling you, and he has told Ichung'wa and company in parliament to delay it until the next election. So you are there waiting for Ruto to implement the NADCO report. There is nothing, he will not do it. Again, he told me, and I have seen it has come to pass, that he'll be close to you and he'll divide ODM right in the middle. Today, as we speak, ODM fellows are abusing each other. The Luo MP leaders of ODM are abusing the Luya ones, and the Luya ones are abusing the Luo ones. Just what William Ruto told me, that I'll go near this ODM, it's a strong party, I will divide it right in the middle. So wewe mzee Raila, although watu yako wananitukana, wacha nikuchanue kidogo. Wewe Ruto atamaliza chama yako ya ODM. Nadco will never see the light of the day. Amefanya jensi wa kuchukie. Waluya wamekuacha, Wakamba wamekuacha, Wakisii wamekuacha, amekuachia Wajaluo nusu. By the time William Ruto is through with you, you will be nobody in Kenyan politics. Wewe uchanuke mapema kama mimi. Si ndio? Mimi niliona, he was trying to divide my base ya Maulima into east and west. Nikakataa. He wanted to divide the counties, Murang'a atafute kiongozi, Kiambu kiongozi, so that he renders me and our people irrelevant. I refused. And I want to tell Raila Odinga, he'll destroy ODM completely. And you have seen it is happening. He'll undermine you in all areas you used to be popular. And by the time he is through with you, you'll be a pale shadow of your former self. Ordinarily, I will not give you that advice because your people are not very nice to me. But because I'm a Christian and I'm an honest man, I think it's only fair to be nice to an old man. And tell him what I know and what I see happening. So mimi nimeshukuru. Tutashikana pamoja kwa one time? Yeah? Tuko hapo kwa one time? So I am very happy for listening to me, and I speak from the bottom of my heart. I love my country and I mean well. And I am determined. I have a very great resolve to join the rest of Kenyans to liberate our country and to bring meaningful change. And I am indeed very encouraged by the enthusiasm I have seen here in the States. I will leave here a better leader, knowing that I'm not alone, and go and tell the people of Kenya that your brothers and sisters and cousins in the United States are together with you. So you are prayerful people. Please continue praying for our country. Please continue remembering us in prayer. Please continue talking to people back home. Kenya is your country, and you have a responsibility to help us make it a better place to live in. And finally, you guys, when you work here, you must go home and retire. And you want to find a beautiful place, a peaceful place, a place where things are working, where health systems are working, where roads are passable, where there is water and electricity. So let us build this country together. Asanteni sana, thank you very much. Tuko na maswali? Wananiuliza kama waniletee kiti, mimi siwezi kaa. I'm a strong guy. Do you have some questions?
Yes, we do have questions. We make it very brief and let it be a question.
And on issues that are
and I have probably two quick questions, but just before I say that, I think I have a call to the diaspora. we have a challenge with how we shape the flow of money into our politics. And we have a duty to talk to our people back home that when Rigiji and others are going to seek for positions, look at them and tell our people that there is no individual who loves their country so much that they want to come and spend 20 billion to be a leader. It doesn't happen. Wale muna employ house helps, you know. There is no way a house help is coming to tell you that today I have so much money I want to give you so that you give me the job. It does not make sense. We have a responsibility for that. Number two, like His Excellency has said, those of you who have lived experiences where you have seen systems work, we would encourage you, and I speak both as a journalist and as a Kenyan, we have a duty to encourage many of us as possible to go and seek elective positions so that we can demonstrate to our people that politics can be played in a different way. I challenge all of us to do that. And lastly, so that I ask the question, in 2022, I'm a journalist, like I said, so that's my disclaimer, and indulge me on that. In 2022, only less than 3,000 Kenyans in the diaspora voted. We have to encourage ourselves. And remember, Kenya Kwanza won by a mere 233,000 votes. That tells you that had diaspora in the US turned up to vote, we would have had diaspora swing the vote and give Kenyans a better candidate. We have an opportunity in the next elections. Let me ask my question. Honorable Rigiji, in your speech, you've spoken about a formula, and if it doesn't favor you. Now, it means that within your ranks, you have an idea of a formula. What is that formula? And what is the place of the Kenyan people in defining that formula and making that decision? In other words, how are you going to involve the Kenyan people in making that decision on who becomes the flag bearer? My second and last question. You have quite some influence with members of parliament and other National Assembly, the Senate and the county assemblies. Some of the proposals you're talking about in terms of, for example, increasing polling stations in diaspora, a greater participation of the diaspora people requires some level of legislative input before the next elections. And knowing William Ruto, he will block every attempt to legislate and make policy changes that would make it impossible for him to hold on to power. How do you intend to navigate that space, considering that you know William Ruto more than all of us in this room? I would have more, and I know we'll have an opportunity to engage with you. I leave it at that for now. Thank you.
Now, guys, because of time, and there are so many who have questions, can we make our questions very brief so that also His Excellency can have time to answer?
Okay, first I will start by introducing myself. My name is Evangeline Kirigwa. I founded the Diaspora Initiative for Civic Engagement a few years back. And for anyone needing information on how to engage, you can reach out to me. So my few questions, the first thing, Honorable Your Excellency Rigiji, is nice to meet you. Thank you for being so engaged, so vivacious. We're following things with a lot of interest, and I'm glad to meet you today. So I have a few things to bring up. The first thing is when we fly to Kenya, when we land in Jomo Kenyatta, we are checked in, it's still a shed. It was meant to be temporary housing a few years back. It's almost 10 years, we are still being housed in migrations within a tent. It's a shame. My other issue is that I was brought up on coffee money. My school fees was paid on coffee money. Now, because coffee is killed to punish the people of the mountain, and my family is a victim of that, how are you going to revive this very important industry? And the other thing is a few things that need to be addressed in government. I have several issues. I have a document I've prepared. It's been over several years. I've not been able to present to the right person. I'll be willing to present it to you and receive your feedback. I don't know if you have a note taker present, but I would want to engage with that person and follow up because we need this. This economy needs to be built up. We need proper salaries for doctors, police, teachers, nurses, people who are in very, very important sections of our country. For the welfare of the nation, these people need to be supported. Without even alluding to SHA and all the others, these things need to be addressed. And I'm really interested in hearing. Again, I'm saying if you have a note taker present in this meeting, I would like that person to reach out to me, and I will give my phone number. It's 240-418-1736. Note taker, 240-418. Yeah, my number is 240-418-1736. I would like to reach out, and I want to engage for the future. Thank you.
Okay. We will be moving side and side. So I'll be back on this side. Oh, okay. You'll have time. Only 3 questions, or that's the next one.
Good evening, Honorable Rigiji. My name is Jefferson Choti. It was nice fellowshipping with you earlier today. My question is going to be simple. I'm going to keep it pretty short. I'm concerned about our involvement in Haiti. What are your thoughts on that? And why are we there? Why are our troops or police there?
Thank you for making it brief. Are you done on that side? I have right here. Make it brief, straight to the point.
And please, one question. One question. Please.
Yeah, I only have one. I have a question about the developers in Kenya. As here as diaspora, sometimes we are not able to go home and build our homes or even do any kind of project. We have developers in Kenya. They say they are going to deliver, but they do not deliver. There's no accountability for us to go back and account for them. Can you tell us what the government can do, make them accountable? For the developers, like here, the developers, they have to have some kind of insurance. If you don't deliver, you pay the people that you took the money from. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it's true. When leaders bribe people to vote for them, what they'll do when they get into office is first recover their money, isn't it? And that is why we are telling the people of Kenya that the Ruto administration is the greatest conveyor and purveyor of corruption. And once you agree to be part of that corruption, then you cannot complain on the adverse effect of the same. That's why we are saying, I agree with you. Help the leaders that you desire to ascend to the office by assisting them in logistics and simple things. Because if they go and get funded by cartels, they will demand for payback when they get back to office. There's a lot of bribery going on in Kenya today. Ruto believes in corruption, and he believes money can buy everything, including leadership. And we must prove him wrong in this coming election. I have succeeded in lobbying the people of Kenya to take money and say one term. It has never happened. You know, basically our people are Christians. When they take your money, they feel obliged to vote for you. But when William Ruto was coming to the mountain, he withdrew 1 billion shillings in cash. So when I learned about it, I was very worried, because 1 billion shillings can confuse people. So I talked to the people, no, this guy is coming with cash. This is your money. And take it, but don't take it home because it has Gen Z blood. Don't use it to take your child to school. Don't use it to buy a cow. Mkule tu hapo sokoni. Na kama uko na deni ulipe naye. Na ukimalizana naye umwambie ni one time. Na tukaweka bei. We set a price for William Ruto to address in the meeting. Attendance is 2,000. Clapping 1,000. Laughing 500. And he gave money. Akiingia kwa dege watu wanasema one time. I have seen now it's happening even in Masai land. I was very happy the other day. Soprano was there. Amepatia kila mtu 3,000. Akiingia kwa dege wa Masai wanachukua ile fimbo yao wanasema one time. That is what we want now. Because you cannot tell people not to take money. People love money. But we want to educate our people, and you help me also telling them, don't take money from William Ruto and elect him and get yourself back to slavery. Because he'll give you 200 shillings, then he'll bring taxation and tax you 100,000. So you must help us in educating our people. Again, it is true, only 3,000, slightly over 3,000 people voted here. We have challenges because I think you only have 2 polling stations. We will be lobbying the IBC. It has been constituted to see whether we can increase the polling stations. It's not easy because of the financial constraints, but we'll continue to do so to see whether we can have, polling stations that are near where the people are. Formula to pick a candidate. Hatuwezi sema Kasongo anatupangia. Si ndio? Si atatupangia? Na hatuwezi toa candidate saa hii, atatuhangaisha. Uko mwisho. Uko mwisho. Hiyo tuachie. But I want to assure you, the formula will come up with the best candidate for the people of Kenya. And if it does not favor me, I have publicly said, I'll support whoever it favors. And I'll be asking my colleagues also to make that public statement, isn't it? Let everybody commit to the people of Kenya. That it cannot just be you. If it's not you, you must commit. So your formula, wacha tuketi nayo for now. Yeah? Don't worry. The laws that are in place are sufficient to get us a good election. Na hakuna mtu ataiba uchaguzi bana. The margin will be so huge. Even kwenda Supreme Court Kasongo hataenda. And again, let me also tell you, when we changed the election laws, that the votes are counted at the polling station, it became very difficult to interfere with the results. And the minor Kai ruling of 2013, the Supreme Court ruled that polling station results are final. What happens in Bomas is just mathematical, just addition. And with the Gen Zs, Gen Zimpo, these are the people to assist us. They'll be there in every polling station. Wanapiga picha na kutuma na kufanya hesabu haraka haraka. Hii watoto, within 1 hour they'll tell us who is the president. This is a revolution, this is Gen Z. It's a good thing for the country, I want to tell you. And we want to work with the Gen Zs because they are a good resource for our country. They assist us to make sure there is no monkey business. Evangelist Kiregwa is true, JKIA is a shame. We go through many international airports. It's been very difficult to get anything done at JKIA because of corruption. The other day they tried to bring somebody called Adani. Alikuwa anataka kuuziwa airport yetu tukakataa. So muvumilie tu kidogo. Mwaka 2 mupitie hapo kwa hiyo shade. We'll fix it properly. We'll fix the generators, we'll fix the toilets, we'll fix everything that needs to be fixed without selling our airport to foreigners. Coffee is true. When I was in office, I was in charge of coffee reforms. And I'm a very proud leader. By the time I came to office, 1 kg of coffee was between 60 to 90 shillings. I initiated coffee reforms after the coffee conference of 2023 I did in Meru. I went to Colombia, I went to Brussels, I went to Germany. I brought all the stakeholders together. We initiated a lot of reforms. And as we speak today, a kilo of coffee, farmers have been paid between 130 to 190, and it will get better. And we will not allow Kasongo to mess it up. He is trying to mess it up so that the people of that particular area can suffer. Just the way he interfered with our success in the fight against alcoholism and drug abuse. You know, I successfully, with my wife, initiated a program to remove illicit alcohol from the market, and we did. And our young people became sober. They started families, they became clean, and things were going right. Until Kasongo realized that the young men of the Mount Kenya region are back. And because he wanted to destroy that community, he ordered for the brews to be brought back and suspended the whole thing that I was doing. And he did it when I was still in office, but I was fighting back. But when I left, the whole program collapsed. Illicit alcohol is back. Our young people are sleeping in trenches. They are not having children. They are dirty. And a whole generation is being destroyed. But because there's a God in heaven, God cannot allow those boys will be saved. But for us to deal with the illicit alcohol and drug abuse, Ruto must be one term. Can you imagine? The Kenyan cabinet is the only cabinet in the world where drug barons sit in the cabinet. I was fighting drug abuse, and I would not have allowed him to appoint drug barons into the cabinet. He edged me out because he wanted to bring drug barons. 2 drug barons. Even they cannot come to the United States. You know them. 2 of them. They sit in the cabinet, Kenyan cabinet, drug barons. This William Ruto has lost morality and ethics. A country that is suffering from drug abuse, and then you bring people who are documented and who are known to be the barons of drugs in Kenya, at the coast and in central Kenya, and they sit in cabinet. That is how rotten the government is. Our children are not safe. You know what you are undergoing here in matters of drug abuse. You know how painful it is to parents. You know how injurious it is to any society where there is drug abuse. And then you get people who are drug barons and they sit right in your cabinet. And then you tell us you have a government that can bring change to the people of Kenya. The documents, you say you have some proposals. My people are here. They'll organize with you how I get them. And we'll be able to study them and do what we can now. But eventually, when we form government, we may not be able to do much now. There's 1 or 2 people we can talk to. But if it's something that works well, we'll integrate it in our manifesto so that it becomes part of our working document. Choti Jr., it's true. Haiti. I disagreed from the word go. How do you send policemen to go and deal with criminal gangs when there are criminal gangs in Kenya you are not dealing with? And I think it was a scheme to send them to Haiti for benchmarking on how to introduce gangs in Kenya. I think you saw when Ruto was in Nairobi for 6 days, he was moving around with gangs. They were robbing people when his security is looking. They were getting into cars and stealing earrings from women. They were even being very mannerless and touching our women on the breasts and the thighs. And they were with the president. Gangs for 6 days. You have seen what they are doing anytime Gen Zs are on the streets. The government hires gangs, supervises them to come and cause mayhem. What happened on Sabasaba Day? There were criminal gangs hired by government, supervised by police to burn and touch property. So I think the Haiti thing, they had gone there to learn on how to bring criminal gangs into Kenya. So that is something that is very sad. Our boys and girls are dying there. It's unnecessary when there is insecurity in Kenya. We don't have policemen to set everywhere when we have challenges back at home. Finally, the issue of developers is true. I know you people have undergone many challenges when you are trying to build homes and you send money to people. They con you. Sometimes you want to buy a plot, you find you bought air. Sindio? Sometimes even your own relatives have conned you. Unamtumia pesa akujengee nyumba, anapiga ya jirani anakuambia ni yako. There are those challenges. It's something we'll work on how we agree to have a few farms that are certified by government with guarantees and insurances that when you send your money, they do what you have agreed. We'll work on it. That is something between ourselves and yourselves. We'll agree on how it works best so that we get people who can be able to help people who are away to develop their motherland. That is something we are going to do, and do some regulation and agree on how we regulate people who can develop on behalf of the people in the diaspora. People who can transact on land on behalf of the people who are far away is something that we can work on. Next two more questions. Yes, Gen Z uko nyuma. Give that guy there.
Okay. On. Rep.
When I grow up, I would like to have muscles like you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have one question for you from a DP. You've talked about 2027 being an important election for the whole of Kenya, just based off everything that's happening, the crisis and all. But then you've mentioned a lineup of people who, in one way or another, have failed the country. You've mentioned Kalonzo, Wamalwa, Martha Karua, and all the other people who are running. But in one way or another, each of them have had backroom deals in the past to more or less further their own agendas. So as the young adults who are thinking at 2027, we don't want a repeat and a recycling of the same tyrants who've been up and up again. What do you tell us if you yourself have said you were the one who gave Ruto the votes to win back then, right? You're the one who gave him Mount Kenya. So why should we as the young adults getting into 2027 trust you to lead us again to another election when you say, what's the word for it? The lineup of 2027 will not be announced until the end, so it's not affected by Ruto. Why should we then, close to the election in 2027, trust your judgment when back then it's given us Ruto right now? So why should we trust you in 2027 when we are where we are right now?
That's a good question. I have said about the people who have declared, the feud is open. We are waiting for people to come up, including the young people. Unfortunately, the few who had come up initially were compromised by Kasongo. So you have seen them. Those young ones. One is with Raila, the other one is with Kasongo. So as we go on, the people of Kenya will choose among those who come up. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with the new blood. But the new blood must offer themselves for leadership. You know, the young people are saying, we want young blood. I'm asking the young people, let them come up and sell themselves to the people of Kenya. Number two, why should you trust me? It's true, I made an error judgment. In my community, they say, making a mistake is not bad. What is unacceptable is repeating the same mistake. I had the choice to stay with Ruto and oppress Kenyans, and I decided not to. I gave up a job, a good job, very lucrative, with privileges, to stand with the people of Kenya. If I was a selfish person, if I was like Ruto, I would have just agreed to what he wanted. We just hung together, we killed children, or with Raila, you give him some little money, he hangs around. And why the young people trust me? When they needed somebody to stand with them, at their lowest, when they were being killed and called criminals and being butchered, I, as deputy president, stood with them and said, this is unacceptable. I cannot accept it, Mr. President. And I was the deputy president. And Ruto could not believe it, that I could tell him off when I'm in office. That's why the Gen Zs back home, they love me, because I'm a very principled leader. And I am tested that when it mattered most, I made a decision that to some people looked very foolish and very dangerous, but to many people looked very courageous. It cost me a job, but I still think it was the right decision. Given another opportunity, I will still make the same decision. And the people of Kenya will make a decision whether they can trust me or not, and they will judge me depending on how I have acted before, where I needed to make a decision between starting with the truth and starting with comfort. So, tutaendelea. And why we are saying we have to wait is that we need one candidate to face this man. With his state resources and what he controls, if we name a candidate now, atamsumbua sana. Sana. So we have to be strategic, because we are not just dealing with just any ordinary Kenyan. So it's just a question of strategy. As for now, our candidate is Ruto must go. Our plan is one term. Okay? It must remain that way for quite some bit of time. And he's very unhappy with it. He's very unhappy with it. Anataka tuseme ni Rigiji. Dia aseme imutu ni mukabila. Nini, atufungulie makesi, nini, what, atusumbue, to make sure that we cannot even campaign. So acha akae namna hiyo. Candidate, his opponent for now is Ruto must go, and the plan for the opposition is one term. Akae na hiyo kwanza.
Okay. So thank you for coming and visiting. My questions are two. The first one is related to development and property acquisition. So we know today it takes so long to go through that process. I mean, it could be years. In my family, we have two cases. One is 17 years, the succession issue. Another one is 6 years waiting to have some subdivision and all that. So when you look at those kinds of things, they discourage people from acquiring property, discourage us from sending more money back to buy things back home. And in contrast with the US, you have places where this process takes like 30 days. And you might not even need to meet the person selling the property. Everything goes so smoothly, and within 30 days, everything is done. And I keep wondering, why can't we do that in Kenya as well? Because we will get the funds sent back to Kenya quicker, because we are able to build more stuff there. The government will get its tax, its stamp duty quick, and maybe foreign investors will also be encouraged to send money back, to invest in Kenya. So I think that is something within the government's power to accelerate, so that we can make it easier for people to complete property transactions. Yes. And second, last one is, it seems like we are coaching Kenyans to have a bad relationship with tax, and really it's the only way we can provide government services. So I'm not sure what would be your approach to raising government funds without necessarily antagonizing people with tax, because I feel like they're getting to a point where they will feel that they really don't need to pay tax and tax is a bad thing. Thank you.
Thank you. On the issue of property acquisition and delays and bureaucracy and red tape, it is true. It's something that we need to do as an administration, together with the National Assembly and the Senate, to really review our land laws, the Lands Act, and the property acquisition procedures, to make them friendly, to make them easy. Most of these laws were crafted during the colonial period. A few amendments have taken place, but not sufficiently radical to make it easy for people to acquire property, to charge, and to transact. It's something that myself, I have really thought about, and it's something that will need also your input and others, and check what happens in other jurisdictions so that we can borrow from the world best practices. How do we make it easy for people to acquire property without compromising on safety and due diligence and care, so that we avoid fraud? So that is something that we'll commit. On the issue of taxation, nobody has a problem with the taxation. People have a problem with their taxes being misappropriated and stolen and being misapplied. No Kenyan has a problem. Mwai Kibaki, the celebrated third president of the Republic of Kenya, raised revenue from 200 billion to 1 trillion. And there was no outcry in the country because people could see the taxes were being used properly. You know? Mwai Kibaki was very clear about taxation. Alisema kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. But he used the money to educate our children free. He used the money to put up Thika superhighway. He used the money to bring about M-Pesa. He used the money to do rural electrification. No Kenyan has a problem with paying taxes. What Kenyans want, one, is no taxation without representation. Let it be discussed properly. Number two, when the taxes are raised and collected, people want return on investment. They want to see their taxes are bettering their lives. And that is what we want to commit to do. Taxes we will collect, but we will collect the taxes that are reasonable, so that you also don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. You don't overtax people, because you can overtax people, then they are unable to work. You tax reasonably and then apply those taxes appropriately in a transparent manner that is verifiable. People pay taxes and then they see a road has come up. They pay taxes, they see they are enjoying electricity. They pay taxes, they go to hospital, they find there is medicine. Nobody has a problem with paying taxes. Two more questions now.
Thank you so much. This is just to the diaspora. We've begun the process of going to Congress. President Ruto has defiled the Leahy Act here by using the military last year. So that kind of gives us grounds, but we are trying. So if you're here and you have expertise and can guide us and help us, or even know someone in the Foreign Relations Committee or any committee, please help us so that we can advance this forward. And also we are starting a Kenyan series on August 3rd at the Sankofa. It's going to be talking about the politics of Kenya, colonization period, independence period, and the Kenya now. Again, it's going to be August 3rd, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Sankofa in DC.
I'll connect you with some people. By the way, did I explain myself on the narrative of tribalism? Did I make sense?
So what I'm wondering is, if we Gen Zs don't understand the mountain narrative, how are you going to engage us and find a way to position yourself or position these politics beyond one term and beyond the defense of Mulima? And by the way, I'm not embarrassed to be Kikuyu. I'm from Kirinyaga and Nyeri. You know, you can't get Kikuyu than that. You know, I'm very Kikuyu, but we have, you know, but that's just the truth. How are you going to convince us? Because, you know, I'm trying to explain to you the way we see it, right? There is that pride, yes, you know, of being a Kikuyu. But there's also a people who don't see that. And we as Gen Zs are saying we are tribeless and we are fearless. And the politics being done now is the way it was done 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And that is what is really scaring us, because if we divide ourselves, if you say you're coming to the defense of Mulima, then there's someone in Rift Valley or Western, who will also say they are going to that defense. And then there will be another group, in Coast, we are going to that defense. And then now, there will be a vacuum gap, and then Ruto will become president.
I feel you. And the Gen Zs will help us deal with that nonsense. Because they are tribeless, and they are fearless, and they want change. And nobody can intimidate them or coerce them. But before the Gen Zs help us to have that change, those communities that are targeted by Ruto for extinction must be protected. Because if they are not, there will be nobody to vote. So I hear you, and I understand the way you think, but I also want to tell you at back home, the Gen Zs your age understand what's going on, because they are just there, and they are feeling it. They can see that persecution, they can see the discrimination, they can hear the talk, and they can see the way they are being targeted. Because when you go to Kahawa Court of terrorism, and out of 100 people charged, 96 are from one area. In the cells, they talk among themselves and wonder what is happening. Yeah. So that is a situation that is there. And it behoves upon leaders. If a people are under siege, those people must be cushioned from destruction and from fear. Because if they become fearful, then the oppressor has succeeded. You see, people want to intimidate people into fear. The Gen Zs cannot be intimidated. But the rest of the population, they buy fear quite quickly. So we must keep on reassuring them, no. Nobody will target you. Nobody will wipe you out. Nobody will destroy your businesses, so that they feel comfortable and they are able to soldier on. You must keep on giving people assurances, especially where fear is being sold. Most of members of parliament are one term, but they cannot dare say because of fear. They cannot even go to a meeting where one term is being discussed because of fear. So you just find a few of them who are courageous. And that's where the Gen Zs now have become a movement, because they are fearless and they simply don't care. And it has even reached a place where I had to ask the Gen Zs, please, you have made your point. This guy has said you should be shot, and he's doing it. I'm requesting you, much as you are fearless, I need you to help me get the change. And for you to be useful, and for you to enjoy the change you desire, you need to be alive. And this guy is already killing you. So much as you are fearless, you cannot walk into death when you can see this is death, isn't it? So we have to blend that courage, that fearlessness, also with reality. And as a parent, as an elder, I also have a responsibility also to guide my children. Where I feel they are in danger, where I can see they can lose their lives, I have a responsibility, much as they are fearless, much as we need them to help us get the change that we desire. It will be responsible on my part as a leader to allow them to walk into death when I can see. So we continue balancing these things. It's a very difficult, delicate act, but we are getting there. So don't worry, my dear, things will be okay. I'll connect with some people so that we can work around what you are doing, and you are doing a good thing. Please continue with that advocacy, and that is the way to go. And I want to assure you, young girl, don't ask me what I'll do for you if I'm elected president or in the government that will form. I want you to come to be part of that government. We do it together. I want the Gen Zs to sit on the decision-making table so that they are part of the solution of Kenya's problem. I am also aware sufficiently that these Gen Zs who are pushing Ruto to the corner and is not sleeping. Once we are elected, if we don't measure up to their expectation, they will drive us out of town. Very furiously and with brutal efficiency. So the only way for us to be safe is to bring the Gen Zs on board so that if there is a backlash, we suffer together from their colleagues. Last one, so that we have to go. Okay.
Hi, cousin.
Hi, cousin.
I'm speaking on behalf of cousins.
Yes, please do.
I'm not from Central Province. I'm from your cousin section.
Yes.
So my question is direct, and it is about job creation.
Yes.
I want to talk about national job creation and arid and semi-arid areas job creation, because I think if we create those jobs, we are going to stabilize that country. So my first question is at national level. What are your plans to create jobs? To create jobs in Kenya? And my second question is still about creating jobs, and I want to talk about an area that we feel like we are not in the planning table with the rest of, we haven't been there for a long time. That is arid and semi-arid areas. When you look at the statistics in Kenya, 80% of the country is arid and semi-arid. And when you look at these arid and semi-arid areas, we do have a lot of natural resources. We have 12 hours of sunshine. We have rivers that have water that goes all over to the ocean. And in conclusion, I would like to say that once you go over the, I don't know whether it's over the cliff, once you take over the government, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
No, not once you take over the government, what are your plans to create employments, and not just laborers, not farm laborers, to empower the people in the rural areas? Those are the people I'm talking about, in the rural areas, so that they can start their own agribusiness. What tools are you going to give them? What marketing efforts, what technology, so that they don't just go and work for that 450 shillings per day, to make them employers as well. And in conclusion, I would like to say, I like the way you said, us in the diaspora, we are the people who are coming with solutions. Here in the US, we need you to engage us to give you solutions, particularly for arid and semi-arid areas. There are certain things we are currently doing there.
Yes.
And they are working.
Yes.
We have piloted, they are working, and people are getting employment. Like for the last maybe 5 years, we have created jobs in certain villages, like over 200 jobs that are sustainable.
Yes.
And we are creating food. We are farming grapes, we are farming oranges, peaches. We are doing that. We are converting deserts into promised land. So we want your team to engage us here in the US,
yes,
so that we can build the country. And we don't want the jobs. We are comfortable here in the US. We have enough here. We have enough pension. Like me, I'm an accountant. I'm a professional accountant here in the US. Okay? So it's not that we want any jobs. We don't want anything to do with corruption. We just want to help our country, and we are bleeding. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuzo. I agree. We need to engage you. That's what we are doing now. And this engagement is continuous. We have to create jobs, and we want to encourage people to come and put up factories for manufacturing in Kenya and cottage industries by making sure that we lessen bureaucracy and we make it easier for people to come and start industries in Kenya, to create employment and to enlarge our tax base. I agree with you, there is huge potential in the arid and semi-arid areas. We have been to Dubai, we have been to Israel, we have seen what technology can do. Those regions are very productive. Again, that is something we want to partner with the diaspora on how we can make that our land, 76% of arid and semi-arid, is productive. Again, we want to change our diplomacy from the traditional diplomacy to commercial diplomacy so that we can look for markets for Kenyan agricultural produce. Because even if we assist our people to produce food, we create irrigation projects in the rural areas, we must look for a corresponding market for those products. Those are the things we are going to work together, and I want to commit that this engagement will be continuous. We want to borrow from you. You know a lot. We don't know everything, and there is beauty in consultation and getting ideas from other people. So we'll create a framework for this continuous engagement. I want to say thank you very much for listening to me. Let me ask Pastor Dorcas to come and say hi. Sindio?
Your Excellency, one last question. One last question, Your Excellency. Yeah, my name is
kumekuwa usiku.
Lazima nikuulize, Excellency. My name is Daniel Ochweri. I think we have been together. I had an opportunity to run for Senate of Nairobi in 2022 election, and I had an opportunity to be shortlisted as a PS, but the shareholding ilinikata mguu. So these are my electorate right here in the United States. They gave us the financing. We came down and we tried to represent them. You have articulated very well that you're going to be engaging the people from the diaspora. Truth to be told, when you come from the diaspora and go back home, it's a different ballgame altogether. So what guarantees are you going to give us as a former vice president and a presidential candidate when we come from the diaspora? We are not going to be disadvantaged from the status quo back at home. That is a big thesis, Your Excellency. You know, it's something that I was removed from the PS list in the morning. Maybe even you're aware about it. Yeah. So how are you going to address the issue of shareholding, and what guarantees are you giving to the diaspora when it comes to issues like that?
Thank you. My presence here in the US for 5 weeks or so is a clear demonstration on my seriousness that I want to engage. I think 5 weeks is not a short time for a leader of my caliber and the kind of work that I have in Kenya. The fact that I've dedicated 5 weeks to come here and engage demonstrates that I have a serious intention to engage. We are in the process of creating consultative structures so that this engagement is continuous. In Nairobi at our DCP office, there is a desk for diaspora, and a few people who have come to Kenya, they have always found and had a discussion with me. I don't want when you come to Nairobi, you come to the countryside, then you are lost, you cannot find anybody. So we have created a mechanism and an office so that where you come on appointment, you'll be having people you can come and meet and engage. You know, people who have been betrayed, they take time to trust. I'm in the same boat. I've been betrayed too. So that makes the two of us. So all I can do is just ask you to trust me. I can't do anything beyond there because I don't know how to convince you that I'm different. The only thing I know is that I've demonstrated that I'm an honest person. I can sacrifice personal comfort for the common good. I also want to succeed. We don't just want William Ruto to go home. We also want our country to be a good country. We want to succeed. And we have agreed here that the diaspora people are a very serious partner for you to succeed. So I will be foolish. I will be short-sighted. I will be strategic not to engage because we are looking for partners. How do we develop our country alone? Our public debt now is almost going to 12 trillion. Unless we have serious injection of capital through foreign direct investment, we will not get anywhere. So these people to come and invest in Kenya will come from where? I am sufficiently aware that I must work with you to be able to get people to come and set up those factories, to come and assist us in agribusiness, to come and transform arid and semi-arid lands. I don't just want to run office. I want to run for office, get elected and succeed. And I don't think you can just get into office and just sit pretty. You must get into office and do the right thing for you to succeed. And one of the things we have identified, and that is why I'm here for 5 weeks and I'll be back again next year, is that you are a strategic partner that I need to engage. If you can trust that, tuendelee. If you can't, doubting Thomases are part of our lives. Sindio? And there's nothing you can do because people are people, you know. Tobias and Sanballat, part of our history. They are those who believe when they see, and it is right because people have been betrayed. When I said I'm coming to the US, many people doubted. They said, "You only story a jamba, story a town." I'm here. So pole pole tutaenda tukizoeana, and we build trust slowly, isn't it? Trust will build it slowly, and with time you'll come to understand me. I'll come to understand you. I think we'll be good partners. Reverend Dorcas, come and say jambo.